when I realized, like, oh, wait a minute, there's a community. Oh, wait a minute, I have to talk to people in the comments. Oh, wait a minute, I have to open up. Oh, wait a minute, you can make friends. There's a community. We could chat about the things, share experiences. So, hello, beautiful creatures. Welcome to my channel. I am Aradia, the Witch of Dark Light, and I hope you all are doing well. This video is just kind of a sit and chat video. I haven't done one of these in a while. And I just wanted to share a few things and not have it be something like a specific topic. So like one of my magic talk videos, if you have been around and watched one of those with me, it kind of started from Magic Talk Fridays a couple of years ago. But I wanted to sit down and share a few things before I got into making the next video for advanced witchcraft, the beyond the basics. So if you want to hear some of the things that I have to say, grab a seat, feeling comfortable. I don't know if it's the alignments, which I will talk about in a moment. But also, I hope you got a chance to check out the hashtag. Well, you don't say hashtag anymore. I'm telling my age. The tag occultea that I actually just put out a video for, and so many other creators. And I love tags because you can find creators that you would have in any other circumstance not have found due to the algorithm and things like that. But let's get started.
Can't have one without the other. The dark without the light.
So first I want to talk about my hair. If you've been watching the videos on my channel, you'll notice that I've had red hair. And now it's a seasonal thing. I go through changes. It is what it is. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about before I forget, I made a post where I said what if anyone was interested in me teaching Reiki 1, level 1, 2, and master Reiki level. And I got I didn't think I was going to get that kind of response, but I got a large response, and I am working on putting that together. However, if that is something that you are interested in, if you go over and take a look at my post, I did say I will be hosting this over on my Patreon. I will put a post out when giving all the particulars of when this is going to start. However, I don't want this to be such a large class, if you will. I like things to be more, personal, so that things don't get lost in translation because there's so many people. So I want to keep it down to a minimum of maybe 20 people. So, and if that goes well, then I will do it again after that, like kind of rerun it. But I want to start out with at least around that number if people are still interested. So if you are, do send me an email over at aradia@thewitchofdarklight.com. I have all of the information in the description of this every video. Actually, you'll see my contact information. Anywho, so that's that. And one of the reasons that prompted me to making this video is because I was chatting with some friends. I actually did a live that I'm trying to get myself more comfortable with doing lives. And I was chatting with some friends, and we were talking about, because I thought it was just me. I thought it was like an isolated incident. So this is why I'm sharing, because this could be something that everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people are feeling right now. And I believe they are, because after having this discussion with friends, I did a little research and realized what was happening. Um, and I probably would have caught it because, each month I plan on sharing astrology over on Patreon, and that would be the things that are the alignments that are important for that month. But in having this conversation with friends, I was telling them this Friday, and Fridays for me, that's my day. That's my jam because I'm, Venusian. That's the name of my new Patreon. Dark Venusian, occult. My Venus I'm heavily influenced by Venus in my birth chart. So Friday, I was feeling it. I was, getting things done. It was a prosperous day. So when it came time for me to lay down and go to bed, it's like all of a sudden the energy shifted and it felt heavy and oppressive. So I went to bed like this, and then it even infiltrated my dreams and my astral travels. So when I woke up, I'm like, okay, that was a weird night, and it still lingered, like that oppressive energy and feeling still lingered. And what happens is another reason why I'm sharing this is because if you are having things going on in your life, if you are, it doesn't even have to be this monumental thing, but if in that moment you're upset about something, or you are in fear about something, or you are wishing something happened, you're waiting for something to manifest, all of these things that are emotions that linger that can be oppressive in itself. If these things are happening, it's easy and I'll explain what I feel this oppressive energy really is. But whenever something like that happens, it's easy for it to infiltrate, and you won't know. You'll feel like it's you. You'll feel like this is coming from you because you are going through any number of things. So you won't stop to think, oh, maybe there's something outside of myself going on in the world, going on in the atmosphere, something an abnormal presence in your home. You won't think these things because you will assume that it is how you are feeling. So the reason I was actually going to do this, talk about this as advanced witchcraft, understanding the differences between whether or not it's you and something else. I may still elaborate on that further going into protection. But when I had this conversation explaining these are the things that were happening to some friends, they were saying, and even a conversation, there was a couple of things going on with a group of friends in a group text chat, and they were talking about having a bad day and a weird feeling. So while that's going on, I'm talking to my friends on the live and sharing what's going on and other places, and everyone is having the same experience, like feeling. It comes in different forms, but it's not a good feeling. It's like oppressive, feeling like doom, like something is coming, or feeling depressed, just heavy feelings. So I realized, okay, if it's not just me, let me pay attention to, okay, what I was feeling was coming as an outside source. Was it from within? So what is this? And the first thing that I do, being the person I am, I look at astrology, and I look at those alignments and, other things. I'm like, okay, let me make sure my protection is in place. And, so I even went and put on some oil, my protection oil, while I was in the home. And yeah, I just did a few things. And so when I did the research, I found out that yes, there's this a few things happening, but one I want to point out is the fixed star Algol and the transit that is going to be making in 2024 into 2025. So when I started to do the research and Google this, I'm seeing a lot of astrologers having the same conversation. So without going into really having a whole astrology video, Algol is a fixed star that is of a darker nature. So when Algol is making certain aspects and coming, meeting up with certain planets and celestial bodies, certain things tend to happen. And one of those things that, because of certain alignments that are going to take place, hasn't happened since I think it was like 1941 or 1942. That was the last alignment. So it's all of these things like the World War. Like, this is that fixed star that you really want to pay attention to when it comes to what aspects is in play. So maybe if you if pull up your chart, and I can now say go take a look at that video that I recently did to walk you through accessing your chart, and then you can go on there and pull up the fixed star Algol so that it can show up in your chart and you can see where it is at. You can see where it was at in your natal chart, and also see when you select with transits, that will tell you where it is at currently. And what, not where it's at because it's a fixed star, but what is with it, right? So, yeah, without going into detail explaining, the placement of the fixed star, go and find out where Algol is at for you, and just Google Algol right now in 2024 into 2025. These are feelings of, can bring feelings of dread. And one of the conversations that I had with friends was even talk of different entities crossing over into aliens. And for me, that's a thin line, right? They kind of merged for me, but the topic was talking about the aliens. And I'm not going to go into it because I'm not sure how much that I can share about what our conversation was. But these were things that we were talking about. So really pay attention to when you are feeling. Make sure that if you are feeling really this heavy feeling of oppressiveness, depression, and one of the key ways that you can tell, like, wait, something's different, this is really, I don't think this is me, is it shifts from one emotion to the next. Like, you're like, wait a second, I was just happy. I was fine. Then boom. So for me, that's one of the signs. That's how it usually happens. It's like all day you're like, everything's fine, and all of a sudden, boom, you smack into this energy. And we were also discussing a shift in the frequency. So I even saw a vision of the oh my God, I always forget our protection, the layer of protection, the ozone layer around the earth. And you know how the northern lights are coming through the tears? I even saw a vision of it being open even further with these cosmic new energies coming into the atmosphere. And this was the vision that I saw. So it made sense what I saw and what I was feeling. So I just wanted to put that out there. Do a little research and dig around with what's happening astrologically and what it's tied to when these alignments happened in the past. So this is not to put any fear out. This is to put out awareness so that you will be better informed when and if you feel these things. And yeah, so these were all the things that we were talking about. And it's, you know, when they say, you see those videos where they talk about the frequency shift, we're having the shift of energies right now. This is what it felt like. It felt like a huge shift, but not a gradual shift into some of the same frequencies that we are in tune with, but more a shift into something totally opposite. And these are energies that are in alignment with certain beings that aren't necessarily the nicest. So I'm just going to put that out there. I don't want to turn this into like a, alien discussion, but pay attention to what you are feeling and find out if this is really coming from you. And then also think about why was it able to infiltrate you. And it may not be any, nothing, because you could be just a sensitive person and you feel it. But sometimes it infiltrates and goes within, and it attaches to what you are going through. And so you won't even question what it is. The next thing I wanted to share with you is I have so many grimoires, right? And I have fallen a victim to so many times where I get this beautiful book and I'm like, I go to like think about writing it and putting something in it, and I get stifled because I don't want to mess it up. So I have a few of those, and like they're halfway done. So I'm working on those, but I decided to get another book and just not care what it is, and just put in it what I feel and not try to be, it being formal is creeping out of me. I can't help it. So I am doing things kind of in order, but I am not caring. I'm like, I'm just going to do it like this. But, so I got this. It's so pretty red. It's not your typical, I didn't want to get any, because I have those. I have those books where, it looks like a grimoire, has the lock, you open. I have a lot of those books. I wanted to get, this is so pretty. It's 300 pages, but it's lines. So I was so against getting a grimoire with lined pages because, it didn't feel like an ancient book to me. But you know what? I went ahead and got this book, and I made sure to get it with lines, because one of the things that was stifling me was I didn't want to write cricket. I know I got problems. So getting the lines, now I don't have a problem because, I'm writing on the lines, and then I could decorate it, right, around the lines and still make it look, tea stain it and all of that. But that's what I'm currently doing, and I can't wait to share with you guys. Do a little grimoire tour. I've been watching a lot of those, so to give me some inspiration, but I'm so excited. It's so pretty red. And I think I'm going to like kind of emboss it with like gold. I don't know. We'll see. But that's the other thing that I've been working on, because I needed, I have a plethora of books. I got small books that I journal in. So those are like my small book of shadows. So I have things all over the place, and I wanted to finally home in on creating a full, just basic go-to where I can share with you know, people who I decide to share with, because, you know, of course I have my protection in the front, and you know, I got all of that. But, and the other thing I wanted to talk about was why I changed my Patreon. I had it for a couple of years under the Witch of Dark Light, and you know, it went into a lot of the basics of the witchcraft, and I even, you know, I shared my mini course over there, and yeah, so it was a couple of years of that, and I think with even this advanced witchcraft series that I'm doing, I think I'm feeling the need to go beyond that and share more of the occult and more, just go a little deeper. So, and then also work with those Venusian energies, because this is something that is a core part of my practice, is working with Venus and all things Venusian, to as a part of tapping into that dark, feminine, divine within, and learning how to work with those things. So I wanted to, I've paused that older Patreon, which will be permanently closing down in a few days, and I now have my other Patreon up and running, the Dark Venusian Occult. And over there, I'm sharing things about sex, magic, gnosis, sharing things about spirits, deities, sharing things about, you know, astrology and our relationship to it when it comes to the dark, feminine, divine. And I'm saying dark because you have to go into these places, and like with Kundalini, you got to go and get that serpent that's coiled up at the base of your spine and do that awakening, you know, have that serpent rise up and work with your Shakti and work with these primal chakras. So, a funny story, and, you know, for privacy, I will absolutely not share, you know, her information, but in case she's watching this, someone told me that I created a tuning fork sound video from your root to your third eye. And I even added the crown chakra singing bowl in that. So she was listening to, because I broke it up in sections, if you want to work with your primal energies, awaken those primal energies, which would be your root, your sacral, and your solar plexus. So she was doing that for quite some time, and she confided in me, and she was like, well, is it normal to, after you do these things, every time you do it, you feel this intense energy and like you want to go and have like sex, and you just, she was like, I'm feeling horny. So that is because she just, well, with all things is a balance, right? You work on your primal, but if you keep continually doing that, of course, these energies are going to be vibrating and heightened. So my instructions to her was to also work with your crown and your third eye to kind of hone that in and balance it out. But and some other things, but these are the things that I want to get into, because women specifically are, the main things that we have been told, and the main things that has traumatized women over years and years is we now feel like we can't have a voice, or if we have a voice, we can't express it, and we can't express ourselves in a way that seems too sexual. So these are the two things I want to tap into. So you know, some of those things would look like in some of the videos that I have done is tapping into those vibrational sounds, practicing hearing your voice, practicing waking it up. So chanting, and then being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable with, like, you know, what do they call it? Sensual sensory stimulation. I always forget that. And that's, you know, that's a part of some of the things like ecstatic. I call it my alchemic expression. All of these ecstatic ways of working is, you know, breathing, movement, sounds, vibrations. But all of the goal of all of these things is to awaken your godhood inside, awaken you know, your essence. And I also want to work on self deification, awakening this our connection to like this God essence that we all have within us that is dormant because we oppress it because of things that have been said. So this is a lot of what I want to, I think this is outside of working with, you know, botanicals and doing witchcraft and magic. I think what is truly really important is so that all of the, because witchcraft is something that is a result of, right? So if you are really working on awakening your true abilities, awakening to being able to express yourself, what do you think that's going to do for your magic and your spiritual practice? You will have this confidence. So when you manifest something, it's going to happen. So I think it's more important to work with inside so it will exude and come outward and seek into all the things, parts of your life. So this is you can tell I'm really passionate about this, but this is why I changed my Patreon. I shifted, and there's beautiful souls over there that have followed me from that to the new one. But that is why I changed it. And I wanted to share it, not just to let you know that I changed my Patreon, but to let you know these are the things that I am doing over there. And these are the things that I feel are important and is a part of my practice currently. Yeah, so do go over and take a look at that, if you will, to see what it is that I'm talking about. There are free members, so I do share some things periodically so that, you know, they can get a taste of what's going on. Yeah. So the other thing that ties in with that is this advanced witchcraft series that I'm doing. And I mentioned this before when I first talked about doing the video series. I tossed a little bit of with using the word advanced because that can be a little off-putting, but it is more about going beyond the basics. So, and again, it's not me teaching, it is me sharing what I feel like is, in my opinion, what is advanced. And I call it more advanced because, and it's sometimes you don't even realize that it is advanced or you are more advanced because there's no point in which it says, okay, that tells you, okay, wait, this is advanced. So that's why it's kind of difficult for you to pinpoint, oh, I'm watching something that's more advanced. Because I feel like it's kind of difficult for you to say, okay, now I've crossed over into advanced witchcraft. You can kind of tell if you really pay attention, but if you are practicing, you know, you're not thinking about that, you won't even realize that you have crossed over to the beyond the basics. But what that looks like in everything that you do is it just going to the next level. You're going into the layers of it. And I feel like that means you're going deeper within to enhance whatever it is that you have learned to enhance that magic, to enhance the tools of the craft, right? So that is one of the reasons why, in alignment with the way that I'm feeling, the things that I want to share and express, and to help share ways that you can awaken, learning about those subtle body energies and how to work with them. These are beyond the basic techniques. And these are the things that helps what you have learned in the beginning, in the basics. These techniques help those things manifest. So that's just a little bit more about why I'm doing the advanced witchcraft series videos. I wanted to talk about a little bit about the occult tea tag, and kind of it was, well, doing it was, if I don't come to a video and just sit down and just say that I'm going to share some things that's on my mind, for some reason in the video I mentioned that I am the oldest out of 8 children. It's 8 of us. 8 is enough. We had that running joke growing up. So I've always been in this teacher mode, this mentor mode, this helping the younger or the youth or anyone. I've always been in this helping mode because I've been taking care of, my siblings growing up. So I've been, this is why it's inherent in me to protect people. And, I'm a Libra, so, the justice, the scales, the balance, all of that plays into it. But so when I sit down and do a video like tag, or I'm sharing something that I want you guys to understand how it is that I do it, I all of a sudden go into this teacher mode. It just like sits on me, and I go into this teacher mode, and I'm not really relaxed. So that's kind of what happens when you see other videos, and this one's a little different. But when I realized, when I look back at the occult tea, my goal was to just be more relaxed and talk about it, but it just didn't happen. I'm just, all of a sudden it just like dropped, and I went into that mode. It's just something that's natural to me. So I have to really pay attention to that, and when I want to make sure that I'm relaying a more relaxed, just try to do that in all my videos. And I'm not that was really what I wanted to relay. I am not a person that really keeps friends. I have friends. Let me rephrase that. Rewind that. I have friends. But a lot of times it's more on the mentoring aspect. So usually, because I had to learn my Venus, which is debilitated in my chart, I had to learn boundaries, and I've always had that problem. Not anymore, because like I said, I had to learn it. But because of that, having friends it always became a problem, because I didn't know when to say no, or like shut down the boundary, because I always wanted to help. I felt like they needed me again, that imbalance. So I've always gotten to the point where I would be like, enough is enough, and then that friendship would end, because I didn't know how to have that and still let it be a healthy relationship. So coming onto YouTube, like I said, I didn't think it was like a community. I just wanted to talk to share stuff and just kind of have fun with it. And when I realized, like, oh, wait a minute, there's a community. Oh, wait a minute, I have to talk to people in the comments. Oh, wait a minute, I have to open up. Oh, wait a minute, you can make friends. There's a community. We could chat about the things, share experiences. So all of these things begin to blossom as I learn and grew more on this channel. And when it's a new compared to a lot of other creators. I started in 2019, and that was right when, things started happening in the world, like diseases. So I life shifted, right? So it was kind of a bad time to start, and some would say good time because I couldn't go to work. We were in the house, so it was a more opportune time to make videos, but it was also like a stressful time. And then other things happened after that, as far as money is concerned, and job issues. Then I was going through my Chiron return. So you guys seen all of that big shift happening. And that's the other thing about being a creator. If you do it for years, people are seeing your changes. People are seeing the things that you go through, and you may not mention it, but they can tell in the way that you create. So that was a lot of why my channel went through all the changes that it did, because when I started, the the moment I started, things like COVID and job situations, all these changes started happening. And so I created videos through all of that, but you can tell in the shift of changes. So it evolved. My channel evolved with me, as it does most creators, right? But that is all I really wanted to talk about. I'm sitting here rambling. So I just wanted to add that point about the occult T tag that I just did. So that is it for this video. Until the next one, I love you all, and into the shadows.